What's happening, everyone? How y'all doing? Welcome in, blessed love, all that good stuff. We got a Kendrick Lamar reaction, talking about the GNX tour. I think him trolling Drake. I did a reaction for Not Like Us. I think it was somebody who recorded it on their phone. I posted it up on my channel, so go check that out literally a couple hours ago. And yeah, let's see what more drama is happening out there in the world today. As I said, I kind of stopped reacting to a lot of Drakesha's drama because I felt like I was kicking a dead horse. You know what I mean? But then every time he popped up and did some bullshit, we had to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Play stupid games, you win silly prizes. Wake up a sleeping demon, he gonna be attacking you for the rest of your days. That's just how it goes. But yeah, Kendrick Lamar trolls Drake at GNX concert. Let's hear what he's saying, man.
Lawbreeze and Gentlegrams, in today's episode of Lawbreeze in Gentleland, just when you thought the tiny, terrifying Tupac twin was done drowning Drake down with his win, Dr. Dre's protege has doubled down, hitting the chatty, sassy, unclassy Canadian on the chin. The sexy red stunt double slaughterer and SZA set foot on the
This guy's diabolical, you know. This guy is diabolical. The way he's breaking down, you know, Lord Bree, yo, sexy red twin, you know, like, come on, my boy.
On the chin. The sexy red stunt double slaughterer and SZA set foot on the GNX tour, mocking the Marilyn Monroe v. Hoes legal war. The Aubrey assassin is back in action, capping at Rihanna's rejected Romeo at his GNX. Next show. So you know how it go. Like and subscribe, and let me break this concert down for you as if you were in the front row. Now, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, Lawbreeze and Gentlegrams, we got some things to discuss, alright? Because if the Canadian Katy Perry thought he'd be sleeping tight, he's in for a rough night and another legal fight. No, but aside from Drake, I mean, this concert seems like it's incredible. We're gonna break down the visuals, the set list, the skits, the chemistry between Kendrick and SZA. Yes, the chemistry between Kendrick and SZA and the energy Kendrick had for the balding bearded BBL buffoon with a bar mitzvah. Alright, I'm done with the rhymes. But again, like and subscribe so you can help me become YouTube's Twister. So, first thing we gotta look at is the merch for this tour. Now, there might be a bit of Kendrick glazing in this video, but let me rage bait you guys at the beginning here. I actually don't love the merch that they have for this tour. I mean, it's not bad by any means, but I think the merch for Kendrick's Super Bowl performance was much better. And I mean, I guess I'm getting older, inflation's getting crazy, but like, I remember back in the day going to a concert, merch prices were never this crazy. Like $55 for a t-shirt, and that's US dollars. In Canadian currency, that's like $8,000. They used to be like half the price. I remember going to some Jay-Z concerts, Kanye's Yeezus show. Like, the merch was definitely not this expensive. Maybe it was like $25 at the most for a t-shirt. My favorite...
But then in all fairness, though, tariffs have gone up. Everything is made in China. Vietnam, around the globe, different places. The president has just literally just slapped tariffs on everything. So now, I'm not surprised that everything, literally, clothes, cars, food, anything you gotta purchase for your daily living, I mean, has skyrocketed, has gone through the roof. Included prices on your everyday items. Just look at this, clothes. We're saying $50 US. Well, I'm sure it used to be like $15, $20. But now everybody got to raise them prices up, man. They got to make ends meet. Meet beer even, you know what I'm saying?
Here definitely has to be the Whacked Up Murals t-shirt, though. That, to me, is the only thing I'd buy here. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Now, we also got to take a look at this stage design. Because the first thing I noticed is that it's very similar to the Super Bowl halftime show stage that Kendrick built, right? I mean, for the Super Bowl, you had the whole theme of the Great American Game, and the stage was shaped like a PlayStation console. Here, similarly, you have the PlayStation buttons, like the square, the triangle, and the circle. It's just missing the X, but of course, there was a GNX on stage that Kendrick performed on, which we'll touch on shortly. Definitely a dope setup, and it gives him a lot of room to kind of circle the entire stadium, right? Because it's not just one big stage. In the back, facing the crowd, he's got this little, like, circular runway thing to kind of go off on and interact with the whole crowd. Now, before we get into Kendrick and SZA's actual performance, I thought this was hilarious. Mustard did a set at Coachella, and Not Like Us is still ringing off like it just came out last week. And of course, Mustard had to throw in a little sneak diss there, replacing the...
And this track ain't gonna die down anytime soon. And the more Drake be pulling out these antics, trying to take people to court. You know what I mean? Making himself look even more of a loser. The more this whole GNX album, Not Like Us track, is going to gain even more steam. He was better off just throwing in the L, staying quiet for about 2-3 years, and then coming back. All this shit has just really helped out K-Dot. And the more he continues, the more his stream's gonna go through the roof.
Bars, why you trolling like a bee, ain't you tired? With why you suing like a bee, ain't you tired?
Facts. Oh shit.
Why you suing like a bee, ain't you
said that.
tired? Oh, we also got to touch on this Gatorade commercial, because, man, what a run is Kendrick Lamar on right now. I had to get my hate out of the way early on in this video with the GNX merch, and now I guess you could call this glazing, because what rapper have we seen, not only break these boundaries, like going from the Super Bowl to the Grammy Awards, to the Pulitzer Prizes, to the Gatorade commercials, but it's also all the foreshadowing in his visuals, right? Like, one of the Super Bowl trailers was SZA pouring a bunch of Gatorade on Kendrick Lamar, and now, 2 months later, he has a Gatorade commercial. There's all these hidden messages.
The trailer, I remember that. She poured that big case of Gatorade. Was it blue? Blue or orange? I think it was blue. Oh, yep. Look at it, foreshadowing right there.
Within everything Kendrick Lamar does, and there's tons of hidden messages within this concert that he just did.
Kendrick coming out here like Goda. You know what I'm saying? Foreshadowing, king. I say Goda, we say Oda. We talking about One Piece. If you don't know, I'm talking about anime. And if you don't know about that, I ain't gonna try to break it down. But king of foreshadowing, Oda. But yeah, let's get back to this, yeah?
So of course we're gonna break them all down. But first, this is what a Gatorade executive had to say about involving Kendrick Lamar in the campaign. It's the largest celebrity brand campaign in Gatorade's history, and Kendrick's involvement will be the first time a musician is featured in Gatorade ads. Now, this actually might be cap, because there was a Lil Wayne narrated Gatorade commercial back in 2009, and an LL Cool J one before that. But this is definitely the biggest one, and they continue. Hip-hop culture is a big part of sports culture. This is where we're working to make shifts in how we interact with Gen Z. And it doesn't look like it's stopping here for Kendrick, because according to his close associate DJ Head, on his show today, The Bigger Picture, he said that this is going to be a massive week for Kendrick Lamar, and that by next Thursday there's going to be a lot to talk about. So obviously stay tuned on the channel for everything coming up with Kendrick Lamar.
So there's no GNX Deluxe coming on.
Just stay on
week.
stream, bro.
So we can't get Ray Vaughn on this platform.
Listen, next week it's gonna be a great week in hip hop.
Hey.
Starting which day? After you come back from WrestleMania?
Yes,
On Monday?
it's gonna be a great week.
Hit the ground running?
It's gonna be a great week in hip hop next week. We're gonna have a lot to discuss on Thursday.
Are you
All
serious?
Like some other shit.
I'm just saying, just stay on stream.
He whispers.
I'm not whispering it to you.
And it's interesting, I couldn't tell if that was him confirming that we wouldn't get a GNX Deluxe. I personally don't really want a GNX Deluxe. I feel like Kendrick has made it very clear that he lives in the present. He's constantly evolving. He's not thinking of the past or the future. His work reflects where he's presently at. So while I'd love some new Kendrick music, I'd hope it'd be a whole new album, whole new concept,
whole new
instead of
album.
like a double disc sort of thing. But I'll take what I could get. And before we get into this Kendrick concert, if you guys want to still make comparisons between Kendrick and the Canadian Corcus, look at how La Brianna was performing a couple years back. There's a reason why that man's not performing in stadiums. But, to all the OV hoes who were crying about bots, crying about the battle on the charts.
I said this in the Not Like Us reaction I did. Go check it out. It's on my channel. But that stadium looked packed. Wasn't no arena, wasn't no club. It was a stadium, and it looked stacked to the roof. What bots? Yeah, I'll be joking.
That's how Kendrick has been blocking Drake from hitting #1 with Nokia. All these lawsuits about Kendrick faking streams. While Drake was out canceling his Australian shows, look at the crowd that Kendrick and SZA saw tonight.
Yo, fam, look at that. Somebody tell me where y'all see the bots. I want to know where the bots are, because I ain't looking like no bots. Like that's individual people out there with their phones on. Like, your fam, the whole stadium is packed. Even the reaction I did didn't even capture this. Now, this is serious. It's looking like a Super Bowl stadium. Damn.
Look at all those bots. So many damn bots. You would think this was a robot factory, not a concert. But we got to talk about the set list that they put on for all of these robots in the crowd, because they performed 51 songs between both of them, Kendrick and SZA, taking it all the way back to the classics and bringing it all the way to the present day, even performing some unreleased music, which we're going to touch on. And I love how it wasn't like a Kendrick then SZA concert. It was very much a Kendrick and SZA concert. Like, they integrated into each other's set list perfectly. So Kendrick started off the show performing Whacked Out Murals, Squabble Up. Then he went into the classics, King Kunta. Then he switched it up to TV Off. Then SZA jumped on stage. They did 30 for 30. She did some of her songs, Love Galore, Broken Clocks. Then there was a skit. We're going to break down all the skits later in the video. But then Kendrick came back on stage. He did Euphoria. He switched up the lyrics there. We're going to touch on that later as well. He did Hey Now, Reincarnated. Then there was another skit. Then he went into Humble, Backseat Freestyle, Family Ties, Swimming Pools, Mad City, All Right, Man at the Garden. I won't touch on the whole set list, but you also had All the Stars, Love, where SZA was doing the chorus with Kendrick. You had Dodger Blue, Peekaboo, Like That, DNA, Good Credit with Playboy Cardi, Money Trees. He did the Drake track, Poetic Justice. SZA even did her Labry Lullaby song, Rich Baby Daddy. Then Kendrick went into TV Off again and Not Like Us. And they closed off the show with Luther and Gloria. So let's break the whole show down. So for everyone complaining that Kendrick didn't get into the hits at the Super Bowl, on this show, he definitely got into the hits. And SZA was a great addition to it, especially when they both did Kendrick's song Love together, and she was singing on the hook. And of course, Kendrick started the show off with a bang, Euphoria being one of the first songs he did, with the visuals reading, Don't Tell No Lies About Me, Won't Tell Truths About You. He also replaced the final bars of Euphoria by saying, it's there, I'm further. That's something you don't want to do. Instead of, if you take it there, I'm taking it further. And that's something you don't want to do.
Let's go.
At this, just that I took it further, but I am in a position farther ahead than you. Those weren't the only bars he replaced, though. When he did Whacked Out Murals, he replaced the Lil Wayne bar by, instead of saying, used to bump the Carter 3, wore my rolly chain, proud the irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. He said, the irony, I think my old work let Lil Wayne down.
Used to bump the Carter 3, held my rolly chain, proud irony, think my old work let Lil Wayne down.
He's always moving in the present moment, and presently the visuals on this tour are incredible as well. He also did some mashups of different instrumentals with some of his classic hits. He did a mashup of Sweet Love by Anita Baker and Mad City, as well as a mashup of his song Count Me Out and Don't Kill My Vibe. We also got a skit of Kendrick and SZA at a gas station.
I said I want chamoy. I said I want a Diet Coke. I said I want regular Fritos. And there's a huge difference between a chimichanga and chamoy.
I'd like to ask you on top of shit.
I said you was nice already.
You did it last time. That the whole list that I had in my head that you told me the first time.
I mean, you actually put the list on your own because it was very clear you didn't remember.
Hey.
Or glass.
What is it? Chamoy.
Your fans are Mexican. How do you chamoy?
What's the talk? Chamoy, she making my heart.
Out, it was the skits for this tour. And again, I can't emphasize how good it seems like the chemistry is between Kendrick and SZA. Everything from the skits to the performances.
Nah, man, that's your team right there, man.
This one especially of Gloria, this is just beautiful.
My woman in my right hand, my saint have my sin.
And when they first announced this tour together, I was actually admittedly a bit confused, because even though, you know, they were raised on the same label, I felt like Kendrick and SZA kind of targeted way different demographics. Like, I was thinking I would have rather seen, you know, a different rapper with Kendrick on stage instead of SZA. But like her vocal delivery, the variety she brings, and then, you know, all the hits that they have together, I don't know how I didn't see it before, right? Like, just off GNX alone, Luther and Gloria, and then you had 30 for 30, All the Stars, I'm forgetting a few, and then she's
30,
harmonizing
I did
on
that
other
reaction as
Kendrick
well, too.
tracks throughout this
Yeah, let's
performance.
go.
It was perfect. They definitely meshed very well together, and you could tell this was a very rehearsed, well thought out show. Like, you had the props, you had the stage animation, the different PlayStation control buttons are like flying up out of the air. SZA was flying throughout the entire concert. But let's get back to the music. So Kendrick also did his unreleased track called, I don't know, Bodies, Tiramisu. What do you guys want to call it? And this is the extended version, the same one he did at the Super Bowl, where he had that line at the end where he said, I forget exactly what it was, but something along the lines of, remember when you guys used to argue back then who was the number one and the number two? The topic was always hilarious to me. You brought him out to me. I brought out the broom. And obviously that's in relation to,
Swept
you know,
everybody
remember way
out,
back when we used to discuss who was the top five, you know, smoking on your top five, who was top one. No, I said top five, but I'm top two and I'm not two. Kendrick is saying here, remember when we used to argue about that? You brought him right to me. You brought that guy that thought he was top one to me, and I carried out the broom. I swept him up. And then I opened my mouth, and I got some Grammys right now. And I think the most hilarious part of this entire concert was the deposition style skits that they did throughout the thing. So we'll touch on the first one first. Yes, the first one first. I definitely have a way with words. This one was leading into the song Squabble Up, and Kendrick is asked, you know, like, you said you wanted the party to die. Is that a threat?
No, we're not here for that. We're here to take a deposition, and that requires you to not be on your phone.
All right, go ahead.
You said you wanted the party to die. Was that a metaphor? Or were you being serious?
I said it's a good song.
No, I understand you think it's a good song, but it's not answering my question. Were you being metaphorical, or should it be taken as a threat?
Whatever you want to take it.
Yes.
The record reflect, I'll take it as a threat.
And this is hilarious for so many reasons, right? There's another one that leads into Not Like Us, another skit, so we'll touch on that later. But of course, this is in reference to the fact that, you know, Drake is now suing UMG over Not Like Us and requesting an insane amount of discovery from UMG and from
Taking
Kendrick's
the piss
label.
right now.
He wants Kendrick's contracts,
I want to see the
all the
next skit.
interactions
I want to see the
UMG
next
had
skit. When is
with
the next
Super
skit?
Bowl, with the Grammy Awards, to
When is the
license
next
the
skit?
song. He wants to depose.
Let me get to the next
It's spelled
song.
like that, with a lowercase a and Super Bowl. And now
Go.
on this GNX tour, he's wearing an X chain, specifically performing Peekaboo in an X chain. I could do a whole video on the XXX Tentacion Peekaboo theory if you guys want, but basically, you know, there's a theory that Peekaboo.
Yeah. Peekaboo was drawing little, you know, not calling it snitching or nothing, but Peekaboo was drawing reference onto what people have been talking about that happened between XX Tentacion and our boy, or your boy, or whoever's boy, not my boy. You know what I'm saying. That he might have had something to do with his untimely passing, you know what I'm saying? Allegedly. You gotta use this word allegedly. These days, everybody's suing everybody. You can't be too careful out here. But damn. So that X chain they're trying to say could have been, should have had like an XX on it. Triple X. But let's go.
Who's a callback to XXX and his, you know, affiliation with Drake, or the fact that, you know, there's rumors that Drake did some things to, you know, get XXX off this planet. I won't go too deep into it, but X had a charity called the Helping Hand Challenge, and Drake copied that for his God's Plan music video. X called him out for that, and the sample on Peekaboo is the song Helping Hand. Again, at the Super Bowl, the stage was a PlayStation, and the buttons were X, square, triangle, and a circle, and Kendrick performed Peekaboo in the X part of the stage, and then now he's performing the song with an X chain on.
Yo.
The X could represent GNX, it could represent X,
We know what you're trying
it
to
could
say.
represent XXX.
And I'm telling you, Boogeyman knows some truths out here. Don't be surprised 5-10 years down the line when they try to take Drake out like they did Diddy. Not saying for the same reasons, but you're gonna see a lot of stuff come out the woodwork. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that were made private will be made public.
Tentacion. That's up for you guys to decide. But speaking of GNX, Kendrick had said that to him the most important song off that project was the song Man at the Garden, and he performed that on this tour,
I like Man at the
standing
Garden.
on top of the...
It's one of my favorite tracks off the whole album. Y'all can go and see my reaction. But Man at the Garden, top 3 songs on that whole GNX album. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying?
GNX.
I deserve it all.
He also premiered a brand new verse to the song Family Ties. And I thought this was dope because we never heard Kendrick on that first beat of Family Ties, right? There was that whole beat switch, and I thought Kendrick would suit that first beat a lot better than the second beat. Kind of sounds like Euphoria, so he definitely went off on this. Then we get another Kendrick and SZA skit.
Let's try it.
What?
Was that the cookie? Is this love? Or is this hate?
I'm not asking that fortune cookie nothing.
Or you don't fuck the fortune.
Wow.
I'm curious. No lies about me. Or truths about you.
And of course, we get the skit leading into Not Like Us.
Well, I will keep moving. I don't know if I'm here.
Okay, does this ring a bell? Drop. Drop.
You asked this. He's the one who was teasing people, instigating, telling them to drop, motherfucker, drop. Now you taking them to court.
Drop.
Now, this is hilarious, right? Obviously, he's referencing, the drop, that Drake rapped on Family Matters right before Kendrick set off the nuke that was Meet the Grams and Not Like Us. Kendrick also made a callback to this on his verse on the song Good Credit by Playboi Carti, where he just rapped, drop. And I love it, right? Like at the Super Bowl, he teased Not Like Us with all those skits talking about, like, should I play their favorite song? I know they love to sue. Or, standing behind all the women dancers, contemplating if he should perform the song, teasing it, being like, nah, I'll switch it up and do something for the ladies. Here, he's not doing all that teasing. He goes right into it. He raps every bar, every word. PDF and all that. And of course we get the skit beforehand where, he's being questioned like, what the F is wrong with you, Kendrick? You're inciting violence here with bars like wop, dot F 'em up. You're causing lawsuits to be filed, right? Like you're in here being deposed because of this terrible song that you put out, right? And do the words.
Man, it is what it is. You want to enter this thing called hip hop and call yourself top 3. Call people out after instigating a beef, a war. Man, you get what you deserve.
Drop. Sound familiar to you? Those were the words that set you off on this criminal path that led to the Canadian walking comedy skit to be put in the casket. I love it, though. And then we get the finale of the show.
Yeah.
Make some noise for one of the
And here's a little look at the intro right before he rapped Whacked Out Murals.
Yeah, that's a big screen. That part I heard in the background there. I imagine watching a movie on that screen though. That'd be crazy.
Yesterday somebody wiped out my bill.
And all in all, Kendrick just knows how to put on a performance, right? Like, if you go back...
Yeah, bottom line is, man, I want to go to that concert. That looks like you get your money's worth. A real concert. You know what I'm saying? And him and SZA together, I think that was the perfect setup. Yeah. Here's what it is, man. Let me know what y'all think below in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Take care, be safe. Stay blessed out there, yo.